This is a species profile I have been wanting to do for a while. We're going to be looking at that really red fish there. That is the Odessa Barb. We've got about a half a dozen or so in this aquarium. This is a 75-gallon tank. We've got lots of other fish, including clown barbs and high fin gobies and Nichols mouth brooders and some Nanicara anomala. Couple bristlenose plecos, and there might be one or two other fish in there as well. The clown barbs are the ones with the vertical bars, but this is a great tank. This has been one of my all-time favorite setups, and as you can see, this is a really active tank, and because of that, I kind of had to pan back a little bit just to make sure we can actually get the fish in focus. But yeah, the Odessa Barb is a great fish. Now, these fish come from Asia, and they are awesome. They typically inhabit waters that are going to be a lot closer to neutral, maybe slightly on the acidic side at times. Fish are going to max out right around 2.5 to 3 inches. In most aquariums, you're looking at closer to 2.5 inches. The males are going to show a lot more color, and that's the real deep red ones that you see. Females, not quite as red, but they are still very attractive looking fish. Now, the temperament on these fish, as you can see throughout this video, again, this is an active fish, constantly in motion. You also have to think about their overall barb-like behavior. These are more traditional barbs where they might be a little more rambunctious towards one another, towards other fish, and so keep that in mind. You definitely don't want to have any long-finned fish in your aquarium. They can be a little bit fin-nippy towards those, but in the right aquarium and the right setup like you're seeing here, really, really awesome fish. They're going to live right around 3 years or so. Retail price, they're not usually super expensive, but they're also not the easiest fish to find. So you're looking at somewhere around $5 to $10 a piece. Now, if you are looking for these and a lot of other awesome fish, check out Flip Aquatics, flipaquatics.com. Their information is in the description below. We partner with them because they quarantine their fish for at least 2 weeks. They quarantine their shrimp for at least 4 weeks, and they are awesome. Now, in terms of tank mates for your Odessa Barb, I think what we've done here has worked out very, very well. And that is, you can keep your Odessa Barbs with other types of barbs that are active. And so the clown barb combination has worked out really well. If you've got tiger barbs, that would work out really well. Now, big thing here, make sure you keep them in groups. A common wisdom with schooling type fish is to keep them in groups of at least 6. With the barbs, I like to keep them in larger groups. And in fact, we had a larger group in this aquarium. It's just that the group has dwindled a little bit. We had a couple jumpers. It's an open top tank, unfortunately. But other than that, they have gotten along really, really well. So we have them in a group of around 6. I would highly recommend if you can do 10 or more, you're going to have a lot more potential success with these fish. And keeping them with other barbs is a great idea. If you've got a gourami that you want to keep them with, that would usually work out just fine. This is a great potential tank mate for your small to medium-sized South and Central American cichlids. People are always looking for tank mates for those fish. This is one I strongly would recommend. If you've got a red-tailed shark, this might work out fine. Your larger rainbow fish should work out just fine. Your medium-sized tetras, like your Buenos Aires and your red eyes and your Colombian tetras, that might be a really good mix, and they'll do just fine with cory cats and bristlenose plecos. The one thing I absolutely would not keep them with, again, bettas. Don't keep them with your veil-tail angels, your male guppies, your bettas. It's just not going to usually work out all that well. They're not shrimp safe. They will absolutely hunt down and eat shrimp, so keep that in mind as well. For a tank size, I think you really are looking at least a 40-gallon breeder. I know I've seen some interesting suggestions on the internet, anywhere from 10 to 20 gallons. Again, you've got a really, really active fish that should be kept in larger groups to minimize aggression and fin nipping. And this is not a fish that is ideally set up for a 10 or 20 gallon. So I like the 40 breeder. The 75 gallon here has been an awesome setup. The water parameters, these guys are relatively tolerant of a wide range of water parameters. And so temperatures anywhere from around 72, 73, closer to 80 degrees. We keep a lot of our fish at 78 to 80. And so that's what you're seeing here. pH anywhere from 6 to 8. Our pH is right around a pH of 8. Water hardness anywhere from 3 to 12 degrees on your GH and KH. We're closer to around 10. And of course, you really want to make sure that you don't have ammonia or nitrite in your tank. If you want to know why ammonia is a bad thing to have in your aquarium, check out that video in the upper right-hand corner. So you do want to have a cycled tank. We keep our nitrates at 20 parts per million or less. Feeding these fish is actually pretty easy to do. We feed all of our fish North Fin foods, and so they eat the North Fin flakes, the krill, the kelp, the cichlid flakes, the community flakes. They love the Bug Pro pellets. They like the sinking cichlid pellets as well. They will eat those. And believe it or not, these fish will actually eat live baby brine. Sometimes I'll throw some in there just as a special treat for them. Certainly not necessary, but they really like it. Again, if you want to see how to feed fish optimally, check out that video in the upper right-hand corner. Now, the decorations, how to decorate your tank for these fish, how to aquascape it, it's not really all that complicated. They're not interacting with the substrate. So substrate, it can be sand or gravel. Other fish you've got in the tank will probably help make that determination, but these barbs don't really care either way. I do like the setup that we have here with the darker background and a little bit of the lighter on the substrate and the rocks. And the reason for that is I think it's actually brought out a lot more of their red, that particular color combination. I could see if we had a really, really, really dark tank with darker rocks and a darker substrate where they could potentially muddy up and that red wouldn't be as vibrant. At the same time, if we had a really light colored background, that might lighten them up a little bit and maybe not look as deep and dark red. And so this combination here has worked out really well for us. They like open swimming space, and so keep that in mind as you're thinking about how to set up your aquarium, just like we've done here. We've got the rocks, the wood, and the plants, but we have plenty of space for our barbs to do what barbs do, and that is usually constantly be in motion. Think about your filtration a little bit. They don't mind a little bit of flow, and so if you have really stagnant water with a fish that is this active, sometimes that's not the best situation for them to be in. Breeding these fish can be a little bit challenging, as it is with a lot of barbs, because they are egg scatterers, which means you're going to want to put a group in a spawning tank. Usually around a 20-gallon works just fine. With some spawning mops, they're going to spawn every day or two. The eggs, the mops, you pull those out of the tank, put them in a smaller aquarium. It could be a 5-gallon bucket, it could be a 10-gallon. Eggs usually hatch within a few days, and they're going to need infusoria, really, really, really tiny foods, and then eventually you can move them over to live baby brine. But it's not the easiest fish in the world to breed, like let's say guppies or some of your cichlids. Here you're seeing them eat some of that North Fin food. I believe this was the North Fin krill flakes, and you could see they are going crazy for the food, because that's what barbs do. If you really like to watch fish eat, the barbs will not disappoint you in their quest for food. Now, keeping these fish, again, if you do it the right way, you're really not going to have too many issues, but you do want to be aware and thinking a lot about your tank mates. If you can get fish that are active, so you can imagine a situation like this where you don't really want super slow moving fish. They're going to get outcompeted for food just about all the time. So if you've got these really slow, methodical fish, these barbs may not be the best option. If you want some ideas for some tank mates, like some other really cool barbs, check out those videos in the upper right and lower right hand corners. There's some great options for you there. As always, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.